Good morning to you. It's Monday, January 13th. I'm Nate Custer. Jessica Ty is off today, and we are following several developing stories for you today. Our Matt Doyle is live in downtown Milwaukee, where repairs are needed at City Hall. We'll tell you how this week could start a new phase of construction and how much the repairs could cost taxpayers. But right now, here's your first alert weather forecast. Meteorologist Lance Hill. Lance, I asked you earlier how much we're going to move the mercury, and it looks like you're saying fairly steady for the day.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the mid-30s now. We're going to really stay there as a weak cool front comes through the area. Good thing that we're in the mid-30s because we do have a little bit of light rain showing up in parts of the area on precision Doppler radar. Nothing heavy. It's very, very light, primarily north and west of Milwaukee, from northern parts of Dodge County and then up through parts of Fond du Lac as well, around Ripon and into Sheboygan County. But again, very light this morning. But take a look at our temperatures. Everybody, even up to the north, you folks, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac into the mid-30s here. Same Beaver Dam to West Bend, Watertown. Now, Milwaukee, we actually just jumped up from 36 to 37 degrees. Cold front just off to the northwest of us will come through, and that should hold those temperatures steady as we go through this afternoon. But then the cold front comes through just in time for the next storm to arrive, and that one's going to arrive overnight tonight and then through the day on Tuesday with some snow and maybe some blowing snow. And right now, a winter weather advisory in effect for all of southeast Wisconsin beginning at midnight tonight right through tomorrow afternoon. So that's the next storm coming in with some snow. We'll have much more on that coming up. Your forecast for today, though, relatively quiet other than a few raindrops early this morning with temperatures settling this afternoon right around 35 degrees. We'll be back to talk about how much snow we can expect from this next one. Some areas possibly up to 6 inches, Nate. Much more coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Lance. Appreciate you looking ahead for us this morning. Time now, 5:01, and our top story this morning, construction to fix botched repairs at Milwaukee City Hall is expected to start this week. But there's also a big vote today by the City of Milwaukee Judiciary and Legislative Committee. CBS 58's Matt Doyle joins us from downtown. And Matt, what's this vote going to focus on?
Well, the vote's going to focus on a nearly $8 million settlement for the City of Milwaukee. And if you've been here for any length of time, you've probably noticed there's fencing and scaffolding outside of City Hall, and you've probably become used to it. But this vote will help to possibly move forward, getting rid of this fencing and scaffolding on the outside and finishing up some of the repairs to City Hall. And the almost 120-year-old City Hall building was originally renovated back in 2008, and it cost nearly $76 million. And the goal then was to replace more than 4,000 terracotta units. And ever since a piece of City Hall came crashing down in early 2011 onto Market Street, scaffolding has been surrounding the building. Now, the city filed suit alleging the grouted terracotta units had been breaking down since the project was finished. Now, last July, they reached a settlement with a contractor that did that work. Now they'll vote on a settlement today that's worth nearly $8 million. If that's approved, the settlement will take the cost of the repairs out of the hands of taxpayers. Now, Alderman Terry Witkowski says the Judiciary and Legislation Committee will take this up this afternoon.
We're now at the point where the engineers and architects involved in the project, where we're reaching settlement with them. It'll certainly be great to see scaffolding gone from around the building. It's something we didn't expect ever to have to do.
Now, if this vote does go through and is approved, they could start work very quickly on the project, and it could take about a year to be completed. We are live in downtown Milwaukee outside City Hall. Matt Doyle, CBS 58 News.
Thank you very much, Matt. Your time now, 5:03 this Monday morning. Good news for about 23,000 Wisconsin auto title loans customers. Checks will be issued next month as part of a settlement of nearly $3 million for customers who were tricked into paying for optional club memberships for emergency services on top of high interest rates on short-term loans. Now, that settlement was announced in September after prosecutors said salespeople for the Green Bay-based auto loan company claimed the membership was mandatory to get a loan. Membership fees range from $30 to $150, and customers will be paid back up to 125% of that plus interest. Well, residents in the Martin Drive area on Milwaukee's west side are breathing a sigh of relief this morning after learning that ChemWorks, an industrial waste treatment and disposal company, is leaving the neighborhood in September. Now, the move from 38th and McKinley to Menominee Falls comes after several years of complaints from neighbors to City Hall about a strong sewer and garlic smell coming from the property that caused irritated eyes, sore throats, and made people sick. Time now is 5:04, and you probably ate a lot of it as a child. Maybe you eat a lot of it now. The Hunger Task Force is asking you to help them collect peanut butter. And today, they're starting up the Wanted Peanut Butter program again. They made the same call to action last year, encouraging people to either donate peanut butter or host their own peanut butter food drives. The Hunger Task Force collected more than 100,000 jars in less than 2 months during the last collection effort. A CBS 58 Crime Watch for you this morning. We've learned that an autopsy is underway right now to determine the cause of death of a 3-month-old infant on the south side of Milwaukee. Now, the baby died at this home along 1200 block of Clement Avenue early yesterday morning. And officials are asking prosecutors to charge a correctional officer with raping an inmate at the Milwaukee County Jail and then trying to cover it up. A spokesperson with the sheriff's office says the sheriff has asked prosecutors to charge the correctional officer with multiple criminal counts, including charges of misconduct in public office and second-degree sexual assault. The correctional officer is being held at the Waukesha County Jail. 5:05 now, coming to your screen, and you should take a good look at this. St. Francis Police need your help this morning. That is to find this man who tried to use a stolen credit card to purchase Visa gift cards. And this is an image of the suspect from surveillance video at a Walgreens. They say the man tried to fraudulently use a credit card from a stolen wallet. Police say the suspect has a history of using stolen credit cards. Pictured on the right there is the jacket he was wearing. Anyone who recognizes this man is encouraged to call St. Francis Police at 414-481-2232. 24-year-old man who police say drove through a gate at the Waukesha Lime and Stone Company in Pewaukee and then jumped into the quarry Saturday night has died. The incident sparking a huge response from the Waukesha Sheriff's Department around 8 o'clock on Saturday. A deputy assisting in the rescue was injured when he slipped and fell on the ice.
He then exited his vehicle, stood at the edge of the quarry line. Our deputies were able to initiate negotiations with him, but at some point those stopped and he decided that he went over the edge of the quarry. And then that's when deputies and the fire department started their way down the quarry to rescue him. We were able to get him back up to the top, and he was transported and taken by Flight for Life to Froedtert Hospital.
A sheriff's deputy who was assisting with that rescue was hurt when he slipped and fell, as we mentioned before. And a pedestrian was struck after 2 cars collided last night. This was the scene around 7. We'll show that to you here when the 2 SUVs hit head-on at Center Street and 27th. And according to police, a person standing near a bus stop was injured and taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Police also say one of the drivers involved in this accident left the scene but came back. No other injuries were reported, and police continue to investigate. Well, here's the scene of another accident from yesterday afternoon in Brookfield, this one involving an ambulance. Now, this happened around 3, and there was one patient inside the ambulance at the time of the crash. That patient is doing fine. No other injuries were reported. 5:07 for you now, and more than 300 We Energies customers lost power after a basement flooded in a 3rd Ward building. Take a look here and show you the scene. It happened yesterday morning in the 7-story building at the corner of Water Street and St. Paul. Restoration crews say that a cast iron pipe on part of the sprinkler system burst. Water began pouring into the 1st floor and then seeped into the basement where cars are parked. There was up to 4 feet of water in the basement, and for some reason that caused power to go out to customers up to 3 blocks away.
Sunday morning, thank goodness it was Sunday morning when a lot of people didn't have to get to work because we could not get out of our garage.
And it's unclear what caused the pipe to burst after the water was pumped out. We Energies crews had to go in and inspect the equipment before restoring power to the building. Well, temperature-wise, yesterday was a big improvement with the mercury rising to the mid-30s from that harsh cold snap last week. And CBS 58's Lane Kimball caught up with some people out and about enjoying the outdoors.
People across southeastern Wisconsin got the chance to come out of their shells a little bit with this warm-up. For many, that meant taking to the slopes. For others, it meant getting to work.
We've all been hiding in the house waiting for it to warm up.
That wait came to an end across Wisconsin this weekend. Highs in the mid-30s Sunday brought Terry Coleman and his son out of hibernation.
It's first time tubing. He's 2.5, and we thought since it warmed up we'd take him outside.
Places like the Rock Snow Park in Franklin were happy to see families enjoying the slopes. Last week's Arctic blast forced the Rock to close Monday and Tuesday.
That was too cold, so the safety of our employees and our our season pass holders, the people that use our hill, has got to be our #1 priority.
The up and down nature of Wisconsin winters makes maintaining the snow difficult at times, but manager Joe Zimmerman runs his groomers up to twice daily to keep his hills in good shape.
Sometimes the snow is really slippery, sometimes it's slower, so it's always fighting that battle. But yeah, when the weather's great, you don't have to put as many layers on, and it's like I said before, it's a great opportunity to bring out your family.
But the warm-up doesn't only mean fun and games.
They come out to do things, and they come here.
Pools True Value in Wauwatosa stayed busy with do-it-yourselfers picking up tools, parts, and rock salt. A lot of it.
There's less of the snow melting product available. There was considerably more of it yesterday, and so you have much more of a run on it.
Pools went through 12 pallets of salt yesterday and sold its last 3 bags early Sunday afternoon. That meant Tyrell Cook had to get an ice scraper for his driveway, a job he's a lot happier doing in Sunday's weather.
Oh, if it was minus 15, yeah, I wouldn't even be standing out here. It wouldn't, nah.
Businesses like The Rock say they do the best business on days like this in the mid-30s. Also, the slopes are in the best conditions as well. We are in Franklin. Lane Kimball, CBS 58 News.
Well, thank you very much, Lane. And joining us now is Lance Hill, and talking about those conditions. People getting out and enjoying things over the weekend. But Friday night, you were just talking about how what an issue the ice was.
Yeah, that was a mess. We had that freezing rain. It was in the forecast, and temperatures were right around freezing. Yeah. But the surface was below freezing still. It was so cold from the Arctic air that we had in place that everything that was falling was just was icing over, and that was just a real mess, pushing people up hills for about an hour Friday night. Right.
I was sliding around pretty good Friday night.
Yeah.
Actually, Saturday morning too.
Into Saturday morning. Yeah. That's right. And even this morning, folks, be careful. Temperatures are still above freezing, but driving in this morning, there was a lot of runoff, a lot of melt from the weekend that has iced over just a little bit in spots like Burlington, Waukesha, where we're close to freezing. That's a 2-meter temperature, or about 6 feet high. Right at the surface, it's a little bit colder than that, and there could be some slick spots this morning. We even have a little bit of light rain coming down. We'll show you that with the radar in just a second. But we're well above freezing here in Milwaukee at 37, 38 for Racine and Kenosha. Keep in mind our normal high temperature, 29 degrees, so we're starting out way above normal, but temperatures aren't going to warm a lot through today. In fact, pretty much holding steady as a cool front comes through as we go through the morning hours, and by noon should be through the area. And that weak little cool front producing a few raindrops again right now, stretching from northeast through southwest Wisconsin. Very, very light, and with those temperatures above freezing, again, not expecting significant icing. Our next storm's going to be a quick moving but a potent clipper coming to us from Canada. Well, let's track that one. This will likely leave several inches of snow, especially north of Milwaukee. So here we go through today. Again, a few raindrops early this morning, but we're dry by noon, and then we're dry through the afternoon, but we'll stay mainly cloudy. And in fact, most of tonight, we're going to hold off that snow, it looks like, until late after midnight, anytime after about 4 to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here comes that snow, which means it is going to time out, it looks like, for the morning commute tomorrow. At this point in time, I would anticipate snow coming down, so typically slower than normal once we have that snow. And some bands where, again, we could see some moderate to even a band or a period or two of some heavy snow, especially north of Milwaukee. See how it sets up here. Not a whole lot of snow south near the Illinois border, but it continues to snow through the day tomorrow north of Milwaukee. Finally, this whole thing will swing through as we go through tomorrow evening. Grand total accumulations from this, as I mentioned, it's going to add up for a while here. Looking for anywhere from about 4 to 6 inches from Beaver Dam over to West Bend, up through Sheboygan and over towards Fond du Lac. Generally about 1 to 3 inches the farther south you get, and those 1-inch totals closest towards the Illinois border. A solid 2 to 3 inches. Very good likelihood right now along the I-94 corridor out of Milwaukee over towards Waukesha. So because of that, we have a winter weather advisory that begins at midnight tonight, right through 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures today, as I mentioned, by 5 o'clock cooling back to around freezing after we start out in the mid-30s. And then that snow coming in through the day tomorrow, even a little bit of blowing snow possible, temperatures around 30 degrees. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 22, and then we cool it off as we head into the weekend. Highs by Friday, 17 degrees. We'll take this out, of course, to that 10-day trend for you, getting you through the middle of next week. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Nate.
All right, thank you so much, Lance. Time now, 5:13, and Iran will begin implementing the negotiated 6-month deal to limit its nuclear program. That report in just minutes from Washington. Plus, a worldwide effort going pantless in the subway. Quite a sight to see. You can't miss it, and we'll show it to you. And we'll take a live look outside for you right now as well. You're watching the CBS 58 Morning News.